All right, everybody, so welcome back. So the Shipping Association of Trinidad and Tobago is preparing to host its upcoming conference, bringing together key stakeholders in the maritime and logistics sectors to examine challenges, opportunities, and the future of shipping in Trinidad and Tobago. So President Troy Passad and General Manager Michelle Mulcair join us this morning to share what participants can expect from the conference and how discussions there could shape the direction of trade, port operations, and supply chain development across the region. Good morning, and thank you very much for coming.
Good morning, Marlon.
Yeah.
And your viewers.
Yeah, so thank you again. Very weighty aims and objectives of this conference. And I want to ask you, why now? What are you all seeing in the industry, in the environment that you said, here's what, let's have this conference now?
Yes. Well, this conference has been in the planning for over 6 years. Post-pandemic, the Shipping Association of Trinidad and Tobago had to look internally at itself to determine what better value we can add to our membership. And one of those pillars that we would have identified would have been a capacity building intervention, such as a conference. And every day in the global environment, there is something occurring that impacts the global economy, regional economies, and our national economy. And considering shipping and logistics is so ubiquitous to economic development, we thought it necessary that we need to carve out a space in the conferencing landscape to present the perspectives of shipping interests and logistic interests and the role that they play in driving the national economy. And of course, there are external forces at play. For example, at present, the Middle East conflict,
of course, with
all the impacts on shipping. Previous to that, there was a Red Sea choke point with the Houthis in Yemen impacting on trade, again, in the Middle East, coming from the Middle East, as well as our own situation in the Americas, the geopolitical situation in the Americas. So all of these things, drove us to decide that, it's timely at this point in time.
A lot of volatility happening.
Correct, yes. So we had to intervene as a good business support organization for my membership, for our industry. We had to intervene at this point in time.
Yeah. Michelle, what should we know, and when I say we, members of the public, know about this conference?
What the public and our members should know is that the conference will be held at Hyatt Regency. It will be on Thursday, the 26th of March, and Friday, the 27th. So it's a 2-day conference. We have our AGM in the morning. It's our 88th annual general meeting. And then in the afternoon, we have the feature address will be delivered by the Honourable Minister Jerlene John, MP. And then we will kick off the proceeding, the panels for the conference. We have various international and local speakers that will be highlighted and being on the panels.
Yeah. So I'm seeing from the flyer that we would have put up a short while ago that it's really for stakeholders in the shipping industry. What are some of the components, and we did speak about what is happening internationally and so on, but what do you think, let me put it this way, in the Trinidad and Tobago context, at this time, what is affecting us most? And I know you spoke about the geopolitical situation recently, but aside from that, are there other niggling issues that Trinidad and Tobago or us in the region are being affected and you feel that having a conference such as this could be a sort of not only an opportunity to discuss some of the problems, but to resolve some of the problems that may be affecting you all.
Correct. So the focus is resolution and finding solutions. And internally, on a daily basis, as the Shipping Association would deal with member issues as it relates to efficiencies of statutory agencies and their impact on trade and trade facilitation. Of course, you would be hearing complaints from certain parties on efficiencies of ports, ship calls that have passed the windows and such. So these things are what we are trying to create a forum where we have panels, especially to deal with trade facilitation issues. So on day 2, we are having, that's going to be kicked off by Minister of Trade and Investment and Tourism. And we're having a panel with the business perspective. So the chambers are going to be on that panel, AmCham, the Chamber Manufacturers Association. Followed by that, we're going to have another panel on the role of customs. So that customs plays an enormous role in trade facilitation and in shipping. So we're having a panel, and the Comptroller of Customs we have invited to sit on that panel. Followed by that, we are going to look at the marine side of the operations, which we don't see. We see the ships alongside being discharged at the port. But there's also the marine pilots that play an important role in safely navigating a vessel into port, along with tug and towage providers. So we're having a panel on that aspect. And then we're going to have a panel on technology and warehousing, which when cargoes are discharged and they are stored somewhere before it comes to retail places. So we are dealing with the entirety of the supply chain, identifying the issues from a user side as well as from the supplier side. And hopefully we generate discussion and we create a point where we come to solutions, at least start the conversation to reach a solution. So that's the intervention that we are trying to achieve with our session on Thursday and Friday of this week.
Yes, you see, I was right. Very weighty objectives, right? Because we know about, because every now and then there are usually some flare-ups at the port, and we hear about demurrage costs, and we hear about rental, and we hear about a number of issues, not enough staff to process documents and so on.
Yeah.
Michelle, how do people register for the conference?
They can register by visiting our website, which is www.shipping.co.uk.tt. They could also call the office. We could register from the office. We're actually based in Port of Spain. If people want to visit, they can actually do that. But the phone number is 623-3355. That's 623-3355. If they have any other additional queries, they could also call the cell number, which is 786-2611. But the website has all the information. It has, you can make online payment. It has about our day pass that's available at a price. Can I say the price? So at the price of $250 for the day pass. But if you want to attend the full conference for members, it's $325 US or $390. That they can actually pay for potential members. All the information, the agenda, you get in details on the various speakers that we have, information about them, and the various panels that we have. So I invite people to visit the website or call the numbers that I gave before, and we'll be able to deal with their queries.
Mr. Bassard, anything else you'd like to add that we haven't touched on as yet?
Well, just wanted to invite the general public to come on and register, because more than 80% of world trade is carried by sea, by volume. So I use the term, it's ubiquitous. We don't even know that the impact of shipping in our daily lives. So, the food that we eat, the medicine that we buy is imported, and it comes by ship the majority of the time. So, this conference will deal with issues that impact everyday life for everyone. So welcoming, it's not only for members, we're welcoming the general public to come on and register and attend.
Yeah. Let me ask this question. As it relates to, because again, this is a discussion that over and every year, this discussion about efficiency on the port and improvements at the port, and there's always a discussion and questions about the quality even of the equipment at the port. If there has to be an upgrade and so on. As you look at the port in a holistic way, how well is the port working or serving the people of Trinidad and Tobago?
Yes, so I think the port is carrying out the services that it is supposed to carry out. Of course, efficiency is a continuous objective to improve efficiency. Any form of operations and productions interest, the improvement of efficiency is a focus of such operations. As the Shipping Association of Trinidad and Tobago, the ports, both Port of Point Jesus and Port of Port of Spain, are members of our association. So we take a very proactive and consultative approach in communicating with our members. So if there are complaints from stakeholders or other members, we take a consultative approach in dealing with matters that are reported to us. As I said, the focus of the association is to work with all our stakeholders, including the users, as well as the suppliers, for example, the ports, and ensure that we work towards improving efficiency overall. Port efficiency depends on the sharing of information from other parties, so that they will ensure that you have the proper stowage plan and discharge plan that impacts discharge and loading efficiencies. So again, the Shipping Association reaches out and looks to promote conversations and communication amongst the parties to ensure that there's a sharing of information on a timely basis. The implementation of the port community system under the Ministry of Trade and Investment is very important from a digital intervention alongside the customs Asikuda system upgrade. Those digital interventions are very important to ensure the port operates efficiently and there's the sharing of the necessary information.
Yeah, I have a few more minutes again.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the services of your association, and I ask that for persons who may have an interest or want to join the association but are not too sure as to what you provide.
Yeah. Okay, so our focus is mainly on advocacy. So we present a voice on members' issues. So issues of efficiencies often come up, and we would have intergroup consultations. So advocacy is very important for any business support organization, and Shipping Association, of course. It's a very important pillar of our service. We do capacity building, training of membership. So this conference is one such service that will prop that service that we provide, as well as technical advice. the Shipping Association is a member or have representation on many governmental committees, as well as private sector committees. So, for example, we have members on the Pilotage Authority. We are members on the intercoastal zonal management planning committee, which is creating a marine spatial plan for the Gulf of Paria, and several other private sector, committees we also sit on. So, from a technical advisory perspective, we also provide that service to such entities. And generally, we're here to serve our members, and whatever we see necessary to provide to membership, if we see there's a need for some sort of additional service, Michelle and I will get together along with our executive council and decide we should be doing this, and create such intervention to serve our members.
Yeah. All right, Michelle, I just have a few seconds, really. Anything else you'd like to tell us about the conference, or as to how to, again, as you would have intimated earlier, how do people register and so on?
Just want to highlight the theme of the conference is leading stakeholder engagement and propelling industry development. It's an opportunity for not just our members, but also the public to come, network, meet a lot of the persons that are responsible for the port, for customs, for trade facilitation. This is an opportunity to actually hear what's important in the industry, what's happening, what development, the role of the shipping agents, the evolution of it. We invite them to come, listen to the panels, be a part of the conversation. It's definitely an opportunity for them to attend. It's a 2-day conference. We have opened a range that if they can't attend for 2 days, as I said before, they could pay for the day pass, which is a really reasonable rate of $250. So we invite them to come to the conference. Visit the website, again, www.shipping.co.tt, and you'll have all the information about it, the agenda, the panel, frequently asked questions, and you can contact us and we'll be able to address any of your queries. But we invite you to come, and we look forward to seeing you.
All right. Thank you very much for coming this morning. We do appreciate it, and yes, I'm sure that people will agree that the conference is very important because of the issues that continue to face shipping. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right, everybody, so we are going to a very short break. We have this live update for you from the Beetham Highway. Yes, the traffic is moving smoothly this morning. You saw the gentleman crossing under the walkover this morning. Yeah. We are highlighting a number of things happening on the nation's highways and byways, with these cameras. Good morning, lady. Yes, she has put up her window. She doesn't want me speaking to her. All right, everybody, we do have this angle for you now. All right? So the traffic is looking a bit thick heading in the western direction. And as is the case, the eastbound lane is looking very, very clear. All right? We're coming back, everybody.